Okay, and now we're going to build the wind generator. So we're going to start with one large frame, and we're going to stick a short frame into it like this. Then we're going to stick 2 anchor pins, 4 holes up, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the 4th hole. It's actually 5 holes up from the ground, but 4 holes up on the short frame, and another one on the other side. Then we're going to stick 1 extra short rod right here, add 2 more anchor pins, making sure to leave the medium hole empty, and then add another extra short rod. Okay, then we're going to take a long axle and put a big gear on it all the way to the stop. So the stop is on my right side. Then add a small gear and then a washer. And then stick it right through the middle hole in these short rods. So that was image number 1, and now we're going to move on to image number 2. Then we're going to add a short frame in the 3rd hole, so leave 1 hole empty and then add another short frame right here. We're going to add some anchor pins on the corners of these 2. And then we're going to stick 1 anchor pin in the top hole and another anchor pin, 1 removed from the bottom hole, and use those anchor pins to attach this short rod to the short frame in front of it right here. Then we're going to get a medium axle, and we're going to use a small gear and a medium gear. We're going to stick the small gear on it. The stop is on my right side and the gear is facing, so the front of the gear is right here. You want to make sure always that the orientation of the gears matches the images. Then we're going to stick a medium gear, and then we're going to stick a washer. And this gear goes in the 6th hole of this short rod, in the 6th hole from the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we're going to move on to image number 3. Okay, now you're going to take a short frame and an extra short 5-hole rod, and you're going to stick 2 anchor pins into the short frame right here and right here. And you're going to attach the short rod to it like this. And then you're going to stick this short frame into this large frame. You're going to leave 3 holes and then stick it in to the 4th hole away from the frame that's right next to it. And then you're going to attach another short 11-hole rod to this frame. So you're going to stick 2 anchor pins on this rod. Once again, 1 at the top and 1 that's 1 removed from the bottom, and you're going to attach it to this short frame. Okay, and now we're moving on to image number 4, and you're going to need a long axle, a medium gear, a small gear, and a washer, and an axle lock. But don't do the setup yet, because you're actually going to have to make it as you push the axle through the setup. So with the stop on the right side, first push the axle through the 3rd hole from the top of this rod, then stick a medium gear in here, then keep pushing it through, and it should go through the 3rd hole from the top of the other rod. And you want to push it through until it can't go any further. Then you're going to add a washer, an axle lock, and a small gear. And both the medium gear and the small gear, the front is facing to the left. Make sure it looks the same as in image number 4. And you want to make sure that this yellow gear is meshing, this medium one is meshing with the small one down here. So this medium one is meshing with the small one, and then this small one is meshing with this big one. And now we're going to move on to image number 6. So we're going to need a medium axle, a medium gear, a small gear, and a washer. So with the axle lock on the right side, we're going to stick it through the 3rd hole from the bottom of this short rod, and then it's going to go through this short rod down here. And once it's through, we're going to stick a washer, if you can get your fingers into there, and this one may be tricky, a small gear. So try to just get it on in there. And once it's in, you can add the medium gear to the outside right here, making sure again that it's facing forward. Okay, and then we're going to add another short frame. We're going to leave 4 holes empty, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to add in the 5th another small frame down here. This new small gear should be meshing with this medium gear. And you can check to make sure that they're all meshing properly. Okay, so now we're going to move on to image number 6. And now we're going to attach a small gear to the generator, and we're going to connect the generator to this small frame using 2 anchor pins that we're going to stick in the holes 5 from the bottom, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the 5th hole, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we want to attach it, but we want to make sure that this white switch is at the top. So attach it like that. Then we're going to attach the battery holder to the generator. Stick it on like that. And you want to make sure that all the gears are meshing, and you can test them all out with this axle that's sticking out right here. So it looks like they're all meshing except this one. So let's push this one forward. Looks like they're all meshing. So yeah, you want to make sure this small one's meshing with this large one, this medium one is meshing with this small one, this medium one is meshing with this small one, and this small one is meshing with this medium one. Now we're going to move on to figure 6A and 6B. And now we're going to attach one of the assembled universal adapters to the front of the long axle. And if you haven't assembled this yet, you basically just take this side and you put the back on like this. And then you use these 2 little screws, you screw them into these holes right here with a screwdriver. So once you have the piece, then you put it onto the front axle right here, like this, and then we're going to add, we need 4 more anchor pins for the top of these small frames. So we're going to add 4 more on each of the corners, and then we can attach another large frame to the top, the same way that it is on the bottom. So making sure that this edge lines up with this, and then you can just push it down onto all of these anchor pins.